Hello, everyone. It's Bridget Eileen Cisco, co-founder of Visibility on Purpose, our media training school, helping business owners who have an impact, who know that they're here to do amazing work on the planet. We help them land top-tier media without hiring a publicist. So today's training is all about getting your message out there into the world. You started a business for a reason. Right? You realize that maybe you had gifts, strengths, talents, abilities, you do something differently than other brands, and you knew that you could share something with the world and get a message out there. So today is about some 3 simple steps on how you can get your message out there, how you can boost your brand authority, how you can get a little bit more clear. So by the end of today, I hope that there's something within you that is a little bit more clear. Maybe you recognize a path to visibility that you haven't seen before. Maybe there's something that's more clear about your message or your brand or your story. Now, one of the things that me and my business partner do, my business partner is Lydia, and maybe you've seen her on our socials, on our Instagram, inside of this group as well. We help business owners add those things like the logos and the company mastheads to their website, to their socials, right? So if you see that someone says that they're featured on Mind Body Green, or Business Insider, or Inc. magazine, or Girl Boss, something subconsciously in your mind goes, ooh, how did they do that? I want that. That's interesting. And the only difference between you and that person is that they took the first step to get out there. One of the biggest misnomers around visibility, publicity, is that the media is looking for you and they're going to find you. Now, they are looking for you, but it's really about a synergistic relationship where you need to introduce yourself to get out there into the world. So how do we do this? And even before we go into the how we do that, that's going to be my 3 steps. Why does this matter? Number 1, you've probably heard me say that you did not start a business to be invisible. That would be a very funny joke. You started a business to be visible. You started a business to make an impact. You started a business to make money. And it's not like you're out there selling McDonald's hamburgers. You are doing good work on the planet, and more people need to know about the work that you're doing. But how are they going to know about the work that you're doing? Right? So you've probably been posting on social media, and social media has no barrier to entry, right? It's possible for everyone. It's a great starting point, and it's something that you continue to use as you grow a business. All major companies are using social media in some way, shape, or form. But what happens if you hit a plateau in your business? What happens if you're desiring more visibility? Well, there are visibility avenues that you can continue to utilize to get your brand out there even more. You know, maybe it's getting on a podcast, maybe it's being featured in the media, maybe it's setting up cross-promotional relationships or affiliates or referral relationships. There's ads. There are many ways to get your business out there, but it all starts with moving things forward. So how do we do that? We know why this matters. How do we do this? The first thing that a business should do before they are getting themselves out there is they need to know their message. Now, this is important from a media perspective as well, because if you're not able to explain the work that you do in simple terms, in a way that makes sense to others, how are you going to expect, a freelance writer to understand what you do, to have you be written or quoted in an article? So it's important that we use layman's terms. Now, this is not anything crazy, but we must know and be able to introduce what is our business, the people that we serve, and this is really important, of course, in business anyway. And we always say that Visibility on Purpose is a branding boot camp of sorts, because we're asking you all these questions for a reason. We want it to be that you can easily answer these questions so that when asked on an interview or when you're writing a written pitch, you know exactly what it is that you do. You know exactly what it is, who that you serve. And you don't serve everyone. You serve a specific subset of the population who's experiencing a very specific problem at a given time. So we have to know our message. We also have to also be able to know the transformation, the results that we provide. And now any business does this type of messaging work before they go out there into the world, probably before they write their copy for their website, before they go forth to produce a product. They're doing a brand message analysis so they know what words to use. And a big thing that we recommend that you do is, if you struggle to find words to describe your work, ask your past clients. Because a lot of the times they're going to say these things in a much clearer and simpler way than you might even say. So you can ask, why did you choose this work? How did this help you? If you were to describe my work to others, what would you say? You can also do some market research where you maybe poll some of your past people or poll people in your audience or your community to know your message. You also can ask yourself, what are the topics, or what is my zone of genius? Kind of what do I want to present? How do I want to present myself out into the world? And if it's clear to others, it's going to be important and land a lot more, right? So we have right now in Visibility on Purpose some incredible business owners, and we have been helping kind of extract this message so that when they're ready to write their pitch, they know exactly how to do so. So know your message. What is your business? Who do you serve? What is the transformation that you provide? How is your work different than others? It might be your method, it might be your background, it might be your experience. What is your zone of genius? We need to have this nailed down before we go to introduce ourselves and get our brand out there into the world. Next thing that you can ask yourself is, how did I personally get here? Because your story could also be something that differentiates your brand from others in the marketplace. Say you had an illness or rheumatoid arthritis at a really young age, and because of that rheumatoid arthritis, you have been on a holistic healing journey since you were 13 years old. You decided to study acupuncture and become an acupuncturist because of your diagnosis. And now the work that you do as an acupuncturist, helps people not only heal from rheumatoid arthritis, but, ease their menstrual cramps and a whole slew of other things. So we're able to basically utilize our story to position ourselves as an expert in our field. It also provides relatability. And I've said this so many times that I have actually decided to work with certain people because they've decided to share pieces of their story that just were human. And that's a big thing with having a public facing brand, especially a personal brand where you are the head of it. One of the greatest things that you can do to get your message out there and to also then convert is to be human in the way that you present yourself out into the world. Right? We are now being able to kind of cut through the noise, the crap, the BS, the fluffy stuff, and we want real humans. We want to work with real humans. So what is your story? And maybe there's a part of your story that you've been hiding and shying away from sharing. But what if that thing could actually be one of the biggest and most crucial pieces of your brand? And of course, we have many stories, many iterations, and we are an ever evolving process and entity. As humans, we're just always changing and moving. So your story can shift and change with you. But how did you get to where you are today? How does your past inform your present? What is your story? So make sure you know that. Now, once we know our message, once we know our story, we can then do the most important piece, which is introduce our brand publicly out into the world. Again, it's a misnomer that people are going to find us if we don't put a little effort in. And we have to put effort in. We have to take the first step. Now, the way the media works is media is looking to write articles on topics that are timely, relevant, and newsworthy. So, around Memorial Day, there's lots of articles that come out on recipes for Memorial Day or how to celebrate this holiday properly or related to the veterans. There's so many ways that we can position ourselves based on what's going on in the news. But we do have to take that first step. We do need to send that introduction. And that's what a pitch is. It's an introduction of your brand to the media. Because these writers, these journalists, these reporters are looking for expert commentary for their stories, but they don't know that you exist until you introduce yourself. So how can you introduce yourself to the media? Podcasts are another incredible route to begin practicing telling your story. Podcasts tend to convert really highly, especially if you get on a show that has a really good listener base and that host has done a really good job around creating a community. That's really important. There's also podcasts out there who have thousands of listeners per episode. And again, these are highly engaged listeners because that host has done a good job creating a community. So start building your podcast press trail. Start being featured on podcasts. This is great for SEO. This is great when someone types in your name. It's also great to show if you ever want to speak more publicly that you know what you're doing when it comes to speaking. And you can talk about your work. You can, show a message and communicate a message effectively out into the world. That's important. Of course, it's important. Okay, so podcast, great starting strategy. We do a lot of this in Visibility on Purpose. So if you want to learn more of how to send the pitch, how to find contacts, we do a lot of that in Visibility on Purpose. Then you have, digital and print publications. So this is the Mind Body Green. This is the Bustle, Refinery 29. These are platforms that have a huge, huge fan base, right? They reach millions of people. And again, the writers are looking for people and brands to fulfill their expert commentary to help make a better story. That's what they're looking for. But they don't know you exist until you introduce yourself to the media. So this is about finding contacts. This is about knowing what to say in the pitch. This is about writing the best headline so that these writers are like, ooh, I'd love to learn more about that topic or that industry or that business in general. You can also reach out to local media. And we'll say this, we said it before, we'll say it again. Local media loves local talent. When I was first focusing on books for the publishing company, I would reach out to local media and say, hey, we have a book launch coming up. Like, I'd love to get some story coverage. This is what the book is about. This is how it's going to help impact the community. Like, this is what we're doing here. And there was always really good feedback and conversation around that, because doing good things in a local way does really well. Good people doing good things. It's a win-win. So this is important. Understanding media calendars, understanding how the media works is important. We have a freebie down below. So if you want to go to www.visibilityoonpurpose.com/freebie, this is a great way for you to learn a little bit more about some trending calendar days. We had Mother's Day, we'll have Father's Day coming up. How can you craft a pitch around some of these holidays or national events? This is important. And what it really comes down to at its core is, what value can you share with the world? And you have so much knowledge. You have so much in you. You've probably had years of experience doing what you're doing. Say that you are now a women's health coach and practitioner. And for the last 10 years, you've been getting certifications, you've been doing training, you have been working with clients, you have discovered a process, you know how you work with people. You have so much value. Think about the topics you could speak on so naturally. Maybe you focus on women's health words like endometriosis, PCOS, infertility issues. You have so much knowledge that you can bring to the public. And let's remember why visibility matters. Getting your message out there matters, because there are people who are looking for you. There are people who would gladly pay for your services. There are people out there who would love to work with you. And if you are hiding behind the scenes and not letting it be known what you do, here is your permission slip to get out there, share your message, and keep repeating yourself. And I'll end the video with this. Promotion in business can sometimes feel really unsexy because you are repeating yourself again and again and again and again and again. But at the same time, that's what good brands do really, really well. And that's how commercials on TV work, right? You're going to see the same commercial over and over and over and over again. And that theme song is going to play in your head. So when the Cars for Kids commercial comes on, you can sing the ringtone in your head. 1-800-100 for kids, that's in our mind. That's actually how we create a mental imprint out into the world. So repeat yourself, continue to show value, understand your message, reintroduce yourself on your socials and to your email list. Let people know the value that you provide, share, teach, and get yourself seen. Introduce yourself to podcast hosts, introduce yourself to the media, and lead with the value that you have to provide. Thank you so much for listening today. If you'd like to learn more about what we're doing at Visibility on Purpose, you can head to our website, visibilityonpurpose.com. You can head over to our socials, connect with us on Instagram, connect in the free Facebook group, connect with us on YouTube, and just remember that your message matters. Get out there and do the damn thing. Have a great day. Talk to you later.